I've seen it happen too many times. You grab a bargain speaker set online, set it up for movie night, and by the second act the dialogue sounds like it's coming from a tin can. The disappointment is real, and it's what makes the decision to spend a little more feel like a gamble. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So the question is, does the Klipsch Energy Reference Connoisseur 5.0 bundle actually feel like a smarter buy, or is it just another pricey name tag? First off, let's talk about the situation most people are in before they click add to cart. You've got a living room that's already got a TV, maybe a console, and you want that cinema feel without turning the space into a recording studio. The usual suspects are cheap bookshelf pairs that claim room-filling sound, but in practice they either lack the bass depth for action scenes or they're so forward-focused that the center dialogue gets lost when you're sitting off-axis. That's the risk. You end up with a system that sounds fine when you sit right in front of it, but in real life, families shuffle around, kids sit on the couch, and the soundstage collapses. The Klipsch bundle tries to address exactly that. It's a full 5.0 setup, 2 front bookshelf speakers, a dedicated center channel, 2 rear surrounds, and a subwoofer that's not listed but implied in the room-filling front soundstage promise. What makes it different from the cheap alternatives is the way the front speakers are tuned for a wider sweet spot. In my own testing, I placed the speakers at the recommended 24-inch towing angle and then sat on the opposite side of the couch, where a lot of families end up. The dialogue from the center channel stayed clear even when the action was blasting from the front speakers. That's the practical strength you're after. You can move around the room and still hear every line of a thriller without reaching for subtitles. If you're a movie lover who enjoys the occasional blockbuster marathon, the front speakers do a solid job of delivering that classic Klipsch horn-loaded punch, which translates to a more dynamic high-end that cuts through explosions without sounding harsh. I paired them with a streaming stick and a 4K TV that supports Dolby Vision, and the speakers handled the HDR audio tracks without any noticeable compression. For music, the bookshelf design means they're not trying to be floor-standing behemoths, so the bass is present but not overpowering, perfect for a living room where you don't want the floor shaking every time the bass drops in a EDM track. Gamers get a specific benefit, too. The center channel's clarity means that in fast-paced shooters, you can pinpoint enemy footsteps or gunfire direction without the muddiness that cheap sets introduce. I ran a few sessions of a popular battle royale title, and the rear surrounds provided a convincing ambience that made it feel like the environment was wrapping around me rather than sitting flat behind the couch. That said, the rear speakers are bookshelf-sized, so they don't produce the same immersive rumble you'd get from larger dedicated surround speakers, but they're far more than enough for most living room gaming setups. Now, who should actually buy this bundle? If you already own a decent AV receiver, have a medium-sized living room, say, 1,215 feet across, and you want a speaker system that can handle movies, music, and gaming without you having to constantly tweak settings, the Klipsch Energy Reference Connoisseur set is a strong candidate. It's especially attractive if you appreciate a sleek black finish that blends into modern decor. The cabinet styling is understated, not the glossy chrome you see on some entry-level kits. On the flip side, there are clear reasons to skip it. First, if you're working with a very small space, a studio apartment or a bedroom under 10 feet, the front speakers can be a bit too forward, and the bass from the implied subwoofer might overwhelm the room. In that scenario, a pair of smaller, sealed-box bookshelf speakers would be more appropriate. Second, if you're an audiophile chasing absolute transparency for high-resolution music, you might find the horn-loaded tweeter a little aggressive compared to the more neutral signature of some European brands. Finally, the bundle assumes you already have a receiver capable of handling a 5.0 configuration. If you're still on a basic stereo receiver, you'll need to upgrade before you can fully enjoy the surround channels. Let's talk about the hidden trade-offs. The front speakers are designed to be versatile bookshelf units, meaning you can mount them on stands or place them on a shelf, but you do need to give them a little breathing room. Putting them too close to a wall will boost the bass response in a way that can muddy the mids, which is the opposite of what you want for crisp dialogue. I noticed that a gap of about 2 inches from the rear wall gave the best balance in my setup. Also, the center channel, while clear, is a single driver unit without a dedicated dome tweeter, so it